watch was my own personal view from what is probably us as Ravens fans' favorite moment from CJ Mosley's career on the Baltimore Ravens when we officially clinched that AFC North spot on that fourth down where CJ faked like he was going to blitz and then dropped back and caught that one-handed interception. It was such, you saw the vibes there. It was crazy, man. Like I said so many times, like, that is the loudest and craziest that I've personally ever heard M&T Bank Stadium. If for any of the games that I went to, that was the craziest one. But CJ Mosley, he is retiring from the NFL. And I didn't even realize he had 5 All-Pros. Dang, CJ Mosley, okay, we see you now, boy. And we know with CJ Mosley, he was nice with the Baltimore Ravens. It obviously didn't work out long term. They gave him an offer, but it was less than he would have got with the Jets. He ended up getting more over there in New York, and he left. And I remember he was a little frustrated with the Baltimore Ravens toward the end of his tenure, but it didn't end on like such a sour note. Ravens understood, CJ Mosley understood that it was business. That's why, like, him retiring is not even the kicker here. Shout out to him on a nice career. But it's this that really got me like, oh my goodness. Because CJ Mosley, he was a free agent. He's been a free agent this offseason, and we had some conversations even on here about the possibility of if the Baltimore Ravens were to bring back CJ Mosley. Because if they did that, I felt like it would be like having 2 Roquan Smiths on the field. Because in my opinion, CJ Mosley's game is awfully similar to Roquan Smith's, vice versa, to where they are extremely smart players, extremely good tacklers. They might not be the most explosive or the most fast linebackers out there, but they could get the job done. So we talked about it on here. We said we wouldn't be opposed to it at all. But apparently neither were CJ Mosley and the Baltimore Ravens, because this is something that they were trying to do. Let's read this report that came from Rick Ritter. He said, I'm told CJ Mosley was hoping for a reunion in Baltimore to chase a championship. Boy, like, people calling us a super team. We would have had CJ Mosley. Boy, but let's keep going. He says, there was mutual interest there, but unfortunately he couldn't get cleared with his neck injury. I said, oh, man. And you just, obviously, as fans, we think about the scenario or what could have been. But you feel for CJ Mosley, whose career, it comes up short due to him being hurt. And that's an unfortunate part of the game. Football is a very physical, it's a violent sport, and it's tough, man. But I was talking to one of my guys earlier today and said, well, thankfully, CJ Mosley found out about this and that he couldn't get cleared. He found out about it off the field instead of on the field, because that could have been a lot worse. Similar to Zach Orr with his career-ending injury. But you still feel for those guys, because this is obviously something that they worked their entire lives to get to, and they were obviously good enough to make it in the league. Because y'all know, don't only 1% of people make it in the NFL. But shout out to CJ Mosley. That would have been nice, man. That would have been nice for him to come through again, and like Roquan Smith and CJ Mosley lined up side by side, especially with everything else that we got going on the defense alone. Woo, that would have been nice. But what this also lets us know is that the Baltimore Ravens, they looking for a linebacker. They looking for somebody to pair alongside with Roquan Smith. Now, I wonder if they are still in search of that person. They could be, but this does let us know, like, hey, they have been actively searching for somebody to do that. Now, of course, they did sign Jake Hummel. They did draft Teddy Buchanan. They obviously still have Trenton Simpson as well, but it would not be a surprise at all, not one bit, if they made a move for another inside linebacker to pair with Roquan Smith. Fans have continued to say it. Oh, man, why the defense, when Lamar's starting at quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, how come our defense don't cause no turnover? The last turnover we had when Lamar was a starter at quarterback in the playoffs was Marcus Peters' interception against the Titans, and that's crazy. Like, when you think about it, that's crazy. Now, I will continue to say The defense has not been the sole reason that we've been losing in the playoffs. They haven't been. In my opinion, the bigger issue has been the turnovers on offense. And then in some games in the previous past, not last year, but previous before that, it's been with coaching as well. And it's been a mixture of both. But I was on Twitter today and somebody made some really, really good points. And he talked about how with Jalen Hurts, he threw interception in the Super Bowl. Hey, they still won in a blowout. Tom Brady, he threw, 2 or 3 interceptions in playoff games, and they still won. There have been quarterbacks when they have turned the ball over in the playoffs, and their team, they still get the job done. So what he was saying is not excusing Lamar Jackson for the turnovers in the playoffs at all. No, but he's saying that it shouldn't just be Lamar play perfectly for the Baltimore Ravens or bust. But that's why I'm sure a lot of people appreciated Marlon Humphrey, his words in yesterday's press conference, because he talked about how it doesn't matter how well you play defensively. If you don't take the ball away, you're not playing good enough. And that was in reference to the playoff game, specifically the one against the Bills from last season. If you don't take the ball away, and he could be really just talking about football in general, but if you don't take the ball away, you're not playing good enough. And I do appreciate that high standard that Marlon Humphrey is speaking about with the Baltimore Ravens defense. In my opinion, that's not necessarily always true, but come playoff time, you know everything matters that much more. There's far less room for error. And with the Baltimore Ravens, we know like there's less than -3 room for error when it comes to their mistakes in the playoffs. They just haven't been able to overcome them yet. And again, the defense has been a part of that because the defense can make up for a lot, as we know. They can make up for a whole lot, but they haven't yet. Now, they haven't been playing bad. So again, don't get it twisted and don't think that the Ravens defense has not been playing bad in the playoffs at all, but they just haven't been playing elite. They haven't been forcing turnovers in the playoffs. But I did appreciate as well, as I know a lot of y'all did, to appreciate Marlon Humphrey just speaking on that. Because Marlon Humphrey, especially over these past couple of years, obviously Marlon Humphrey is goofy, super fun, super just, he just be living his life, man, having a good time, and I appreciate that. But Marlon Humphrey, over these past couple of years, when it comes to on-the-field stuff, he has taken such a leap forward as a leader. And somebody that's like, nah, I ain't going to just talk about it, I'm going to be about it too. I remember last year when he was asked, I know y'all know the famous presser I'm talking about, or the quote from Marlon Humphrey, when he was asked about, hey, what's going on with the defense? He said, hey, it's not on the coordinators. He said, it's on us as the players. It's on us. He said, some guys, they don't want to play. And if you don't want to play, then you're going to find yourself on the bench. And I'm paraphrasing. Of course, that's not exactly what he said, but that's pretty much what he said. And it turned out like, hey, Ravens benched some players. They cut some players. Some players got replaced in the lineup. And their defense, they became amazing after that. I remember early on last season, Lamar Jackson, he was joking with Marlon Humphrey. And he was telling, I don't want to be on the IG Live and all that. And he told him, he said, hey, you got to catch those interceptions, man. Because Marlon Humphrey had dropped one. He said, you got to catch those. And he said, I'm tired of having all these people talk about me in practice and how you pick me off all these times in practice, but you don't be catching them in the real game. You need to catch them in the real games. Guess what Marlon Humphrey went and did? Caught the most interceptions that he ever caught in a season, baby. So he stepped it up. But Marlon Humphrey has been just an amazing person from a leadership role for the Baltimore Ravens, and we hope that continues, and I'm sure that it will both on and off the field. Now, questions from Team Keep It Clean had gotten a little quiet recently, but after Ravens signed Jair Alexander, I guess everybody was like, no, send it. I'm sending my question ASAP. If you would like to send yours too, like a lot of people did, so please bear with me over these next couple of days, couple of weeks as we get through all of them. Send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com. And if you would like to become a Team Keep It Clean patron and send your question on there, show a little extra support for the channel, you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids. First question came from my guy, Jalen. He says, set up. He said, what's up, Ingate? Well, I wanted to start by saying I appreciate this community you have led and created. When you say Team Keep It Clean, you really mean it. And that's big for me because once I had my first kid, it really made me selective of what I listened to or watched. Oh, yeah, kids will do that because kids, I appreciate them a lot because they are straightforward. They don't have no filter. They will call you out. And they will call you out when you least expect it, around who you least expected to be around. They will let you know, like, hey, if mommy and daddy listen to, oh, this is what mommy and daddy listen to. Oh, this is what mommy and daddy said. They'll say it all. So shout out to kids, man, because they keep us on our toes. But I appreciate that, man. He said, I don't have to worry about listening to you around them because of the trust you have built. Not only you, but all the members of Team Keep It Clean. I appreciate that, man. I don't know why that hit me so hard, but I appreciate that. That's real, especially you talk about trust. Thank you for that. Seriously, I really appreciate that comment a lot, because that's serious and that's real right there. So thank you, man. He said, now to my comment. This move to get Jair Alexander has set us up so nicely for the upcoming season. We have a gauntlet of receiver duos this season. Yes, we do. We do. He said, we have to face Puka and Devontae Adams, Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, not to mention Jamar and T. Higgins twice. Justin Jefferson, too. The Packers, those receivers, they ain't too bad either. But anyway, continuing. He said, on top of that, we have to play DK Metcalf twice, Nico Collins when we see the Texans, and Justin. Oh, okay, I should have just kept reading because you said Justin Jefferson. He said, and most of the teams have good quarterbacks too. But now none of that matters because we have 3 great cornerbacks in Marlon, Wiggins, and now Jair. That takes the other team's ability to hide their best receiver and target any one person, especially in critical situations like they did Brandon Stevens last year. Oh. Wow, that right there. We've been talking about the possibility of adding a Jair Alexander. We talked about Jalen Ramsey. We talked about, those have been the main cornerbacks that we talked about. But now, obviously, Jair is here. With everything that we thought about Jair Alexander, with all the ways that he can improve this Baltimore Ravens defense, I did not think about that at all. And that is such a great point that you made. This is why I love y'all so much, man, because y'all bring out stuff. Y'all bring out so many great points consistently. I appreciate y'all like crazy, man. He said, we got 3 really good corners, 3 great corners, and you can't necessarily just pick on one. You can't target one like the teams did last year with Brandon, because they did that last year with Brandon Stevens. They're like, oh, that's Marlon Humphrey. We see 44. Oh, we see 2. Where's 21? They would literally target him, and this is not us making that up. That literally happened so much throughout last season. But now, obviously, you got to stay healthy. But now, who are you going to do that to? Who are you going to be talking? Who are you going to be trying to pick on? Obviously, if they all play up to the level that they can play on, they can all play up to the level that they're capable of playing up to. Who are you going to pick on? That's such a great point, man. I appreciate you bringing that out, man. He said, if Hamilton and Stars can keep a lid on opposing offenses, this secondary will have the potential to be an all-time good. They do. They really do. He said, excited to hear your thoughts. And random side question. Didn't you used to have an Ingraven podcast channel too where you would just chop it up? Yeah, we did. But for me, and you talked about children earlier, and not even just children, because I had that podcast back when we still only had our son, but now we got a daughter too. But even, like, it ain't even got nothing to do with her, but stuff is just busy. It's busy. Stuff is just busy. I even tried to, we had the podcast channel, and that was fun. I love that because y'all know we could talk all day, every day on here. We could talk about Ravens all day. We could just talk football all day. But I just love that podcast because we were just talking about whatever. Like, and I enjoyed it a lot. It was fun, but I just couldn't keep up with it. And then we even tried to do a separate channel for any like NFL news as far as other team stuff. I just couldn't keep up with him. It was just too much for me, man. Too much. So I stopped both. The Team Keep It Clean podcast, that was like years ago. But it was fun. I loved it. And the NFL channel was that 1 or 2 years ago? I forget how long. But yeah, both of them are done. Because it's just too much for me. Next question came from a Team Keep It Clean patron, my guy, Sevun. I love that name. He said, hey, Ingraven, how's the family, my boy? Hey, everything is good. I appreciate you, man. He said, I just wanted to say, now that we have Jair now with a loaded secondary already, how do you believe Zach Orr and Chuck Pagano will bring the best out of everyone, man? I keep forgetting about him, but I need to stop. Chuck Pagano and him wanting to be here with the Baltimore Ravens, him coming back to coach the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are really trying to get everything out of the secondary, man. They really are. They really trying to get everything out of this defense as a whole, man. They really trying to turn things around and turn the ball over even more than they did during the regular season, but of course more than they did in the playoffs too. Ravens are really going all in, man. And we don't get to say that too often, my friends, but they going in on that defense, man. They really are. So I love it. He said, I believe Mike Green will actually be the most important addition to the team. His motor is nonstop, and with our division being filled with pocket passes, he will absolutely eat. Thank you, brother. No, thank you, Sevun. So we got Aaron Rodgers now with the Steelers. We got Joe Flacco, maybe for a couple weeks. Shadur Sanders, going to end up being Shadur Sanders one of these days. They still got Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel. I think that's his name. So we'll find out. And Deshaun Watson's still over there somewhere too for now. And then the Bengals, of course, got Joe Burrow. Hey, he can move now. But yeah, so Mike Green, pass rush just as a whole. But yeah, Mike Green, you said Mike Green could be the most important addition. Ooh, that's an interesting take right there. But I ain't mad at it. But yeah, a lot will depend on him. We'll see how much playing time he gets. I know he's going to get a lot. He's going to get a whole lot. Because you got Odafe away, obviously, Kyle Vanoy, but Mike Green, the young guy, the rookie. And they're going to want to use him, use that motor and whatnot, give Kyle Vanoy some breaks. Sometimes Odafe away going to come off the field too. But yeah, Mike Green is going to be a big part of everything that the Baltimore Ravens can do on defense as well. I know you're greedy. Next question came from my guy, Jay. Oh, you already know what time it is with me, baby. But anyway, he said, Ingraven, my man, Jay, my guy, what's up? What's happening, man? He said, I hope you and the family are blessed and healthy. Appreciate that, man. He said, it's looking like EDC got in his bag, and he's giving Coach Harbaugh every talented player he can possibly fit under the salary cap. That's how you do it, baby. He said, what moves do you want EDC to make, given the potential weaknesses on the roster? My wish list would be a safety, Justin Simmons. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. And he also said, I almost dropped my phone, by the way. He said, an edge, Jadeveon Clowney. You talking, baby. Re-sign Lamar Jackson, which would open up some cap space this season, which would give EDC all the juice he needs to finish this all-Madden team he's making. Peace and abundance to you and Team Keep It Clean. Much love, TJ. Appreciate that. I like those two. Those Justin Simmons and Jadeveon Clowney. Yeah, JS and JC. Oh, yeah, for sure. But another one that I also wouldn't mind would be upgrading the guard positions too. Either one or both. But most likely left guard because Falele probably locked in at that spot. And most likely Voorhees going to be locked in at that spot. But I wouldn't mind if the Baltimore Ravens decided to still upgrade at that position because then you would really, it'd be like it's already like, oh my goodness, Ravens, y'all are going crazy with it, but we ain't mad at it. If they did that and everything that you talked about too, like they already, previous years, because I've been seeing people say, oh, now Ravens ain't got no excuses. Now with this team, they ain't had no excuses last year. They ain't had no excuses the year before last either. So Ravens been out of excuses from a long time ago. They been ain't had no excuses. So I don't know why people saying that now, just because their team is even more stacked than they've been previous years. But Ravens been ain't had no excuses, so they still don't have any excuses. So it's been time to get this whole thing done. Hopefully this will be the year that the Baltimore Ravens actually finish.